Common facts of today's are the product of yesterday's world. Called one of the important guests among us. She is an entrepreneur, she is a researcher, a grant writer, and many things goes on and on. Dr. Neelam Rathore, ma'am. She has done his PhD from IIT Bombay, one of the prestigious college of our country. He's worked for Perseverance Innovation as a senior manager, even worked as a state coordinator for Bachpan Bachao Andolan, and also assistant professor in Maharashtra Institute of Technology. Welcome to have you on this podcast, ma'am.
Thank you, Rajat.
So, ma'am, can you tell your educational journey that from when you have started and how the things begin?
Yeah, so I'm from a small town in Rajasthan. It is Jodhpur. I did my bachelor's and master's from here. Master's was in physics. Then I went for GATE and I joined MNIT Jaipur for a short while doing MTech, but I understood that MTech and MSc physics is just equivalent. I joined PhD from IIT Bombay. So my PhD was in energy sciences and engineering. I did that from IIT Bombay. So that was all my education background.
So, ma'am, currently, what kind of projects or the development you are a part of? Means as a researcher and everything, you are a social worker and entrepreneur. So we just want to know the current projects.
Currently, we have started a company called Green Earth Private Limited. There, our first product is a sanitizer machine. We are making a sanitizer machine out of water and salt, which is very safe. It can be used to wash vegetables, can be used in house, outhouse, can be used in hospitals. And so I am actually working on the prototype. So the prototype is ready, right? Currently, I have got incubation in IIT Jodhpur. So we will start our research here, the further research, and we are working on getting funding and getting sales and all those things right now.
Jodhpur, you are an incubator. So how you have applied and what are the things and the criteria for applying for any incubation center? Means like if you are making a development, means if you are making a product, then only you can go for the incubation, or if you have any ideology for making things in a better way, like in education, then they can also prefer.
So right now there are a lot of incubators in India. You can go to startup.gov.in website and otherwise you can see. Find out that what kind of incubators give platform to what kind of companies, ideas. So because IITs are mostly research-based incubators, so they give platform to these kind of places. If you can go to IIT Jodhpur website, there is TISC, the Technology Incubation Center. There you can see what kind of ideas they actually like to. They are open to a lot of ideas, but there has to be a lot of things in place. So for us, the good thing was the prototype was ready and there was a kind of validation which we have already done. The team was ready, the prototype was ready, the business model was ready. So those are things which is actually needed for the starting. They should know that it's just not the idea, the proof of concept, and if it is till the prototype stage, so they are more confident on your idea. And if you have a team in place and if you have a business model, if you know how the idea would work and if there would be actually clients, sellers who would take it, if you're confident till then, that level, they become more confident in your idea and in your company. So the process took like quite a long time. It took almost 5 to 6 months to like come down to the incubation. So you have to apply first, and then there are a lot of questions. There are presentations. Then there is a team of people who would actually sit through your presentation, and everything, and they each would have different queries or something, and you have to keep on answering those queries. So that was a process of 4 to 5 months, like from December onwards.
Ma'am, what is your research topic during your PhD while doing your PhD? And how the thing means, like if you are writing for the thesis, what kind of problems you have faced in that thing while writing your thesis and everything?
Right. So during my PhD, I'm masters from physics. So I actually joined an interdisciplinary department, which is energy sciences and engineering. So it was a little different from physics. Physics is mostly basic research, but engineering is applied research, and I was in between them, a basic research and an applied research. So my topic initially was semiconductor sensitized solar cell. If you know dye sensitized solar cell, that is a different category from the silicon solar cell which we normally use.
Yes.
So I started working on that. So that was mostly I was actually developing layers of chemicals through chemical bar deposition. That is a technique. And during my research idea, any kind of research, you have to do coursework. I started working on the top sensitized solar cell. And during the course of 2 to 3 years, I actually get how the morphology of zinc oxide get varied when the deposition techniques are changed. So finally, my thesis was written in this. That was not the usual. So after 3 years, actually, I changed my thesis, a little shift, a little pivoting, which we mostly do. Most of the researchers do that.
Even you are using that material science technologies also, I think so.
Yeah. So yes. So as a student, I started research in energy sciences and engineering, but my core research shifted to material sciences. So I actually worked on how the material changes, what are the reasons, and what are the different ways to characterize it.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, ma'am, working on three different domains, and if you can tell the small intro about your uh, that three domains and what kind of experience you are getting from every domain, like if as a researcher, as a grant writer, and as a social worker, and now as an entrepreneur.
Professor, which is mostly the career path for PhDs. So I was assistant professor in physics in MIT Pune, but I understood that means you always have uh, a dent. You want to do something else, and
So,
when you go into that topic, you understand that how good you are or how much you want to do that. So when I was teaching, I understood that maybe this is not the time I would like to teach. Maybe after like 50s or 60s, when I'm actually very confident about um, what life is and all these philosophy, then I would like to go into teaching. And also the other thing was in small colleges, you don't have enough scope for doing research. So that was also missing. So I didn't enjoy. It means I enjoyed, but I wanted to do something else. So I from MIT Pune, I shifted to an NGO, Bachpan Bachao Andolan. I always wanted to see the NGO field and want to understand how it works. So,
in Maharashtra only, or you just came back to
no,
Rajasthan?
that was in Jaipur. So that
Okay.
is Bachpan Bachao Andolan. It is by Nobel laureate Kailash Satyarthi. It
Yeah.
works on, and I got a lot of ground experiences, what children go through and everything. It was very, uh, very changing. It was very, hard hitting to see how very small children, like at the age of 4 or 5, have to work for 8 hours or 10 hours. And all they get is just 20, 10 rupees per day, and they get food. That is all they get. So, this experience was very changing, but I understood that I have this research knack. I want to do some kind of research to change whatever the society I can change. And Bachpan Bachao Andolan was very much a social enterprise where your social skills has to be very much, they don't need much of the research expertise I had. So I had an experience of Bachpan Bachao Andolan. I am very grateful for that. Uh, And after almost 1 year of working with them, I shifted to a startup, Persepian Innovations, which works in air pollution. That was a very good team. We were working in Delhi, and the work was in air pollution. I got a chance to, work on developing the products, those kind of problems. We had workshops in different Delhi NCR schools where we showed them what our product is and how it solves the problem. It was a very good experience overall. I had an experience to connect with a lot of CSR organizations and a lot of other NGO groups, how they are working and what kind of social enterprises are working in these fields and how they are solving these kind of social problems. So after Perseverance Innovation, I was keen to start something of my own. And at that time, even during the COVID situation, I was doing research on what kind of solutions could come up. We were also working in Your Hope, and NGO. It was not an NGO; it was IIT Bombay students' uh, initiative to solve the food problem of the migrant workers. I was working on that during the previous 2020 COVID situation. And during that only, I was working on what other solutions could be there. And I actually researched on this sanitizer machine, which we are working right now. So from getting the experience of startup, I shifted to developing. When I know how to develop product, how to go to the market, how to sell product, how to have connections to CSR and other things, I started my own journey of entrepreneurship.
Um, as a social means, I can say from the survey or a different observation, India's development is coming just like a developing nation, means considering as a developing nation, because we have a kind of mind, we have a kind of intellectuals who are working on different domains. Like it is not that kind of a top means I can say the area, but this question arises in mind of every person who thinks that India considered to be like generation of most of the entrepreneurs in different domains. Then also it considered to be in the developing stage or develop in the developing countries list, not in developed country list.
Okay, so philosophical answer to this question and maybe normal answer. What
What's
is
your
development?
thing? Means what's your thing
The
about?
question is, we are talking about development, developing, developed, non-developed, right? So what is development? Does GDP ensures development? Development, what we say US and Germany and maybe European countries are developed, that is a very tricky term. So maybe development, but okay. So if you call that kind of GDP and everything as development, first of all, we have to redefine the term development. It shouldn't be at the cost of other species. It shouldn't be at the cost of the environment. It shouldn't be at the care. So entrepreneurs are there to solve social problems which are not solved by big companies. You cannot expect Tatas or Ambanis to solve problem of a very small population in a village or in a town who have very different kind of problems. So to solve those kind of problems, you need a lot of entrepreneurs. So to develop GDP and everything, the criteria of GDP and development, I find it very faulty. I don't think our mission should be being in that kind of developed list.
Means we have to
Our mission
redefine the things like if
is
India.
redefine development.
Yes,
Yeah,
okay.
redefine development. It should be
Yes.
more like happiness index, what we talk about Bhutan,
As
or
per the
how good
area,
is your
as per the
environment.
areas also we have to define this thing. Yeah, India is as a large containment of the population in terms of population and all kind of sizes. So ma'am, as a researcher means as a grant, you are also a grant writer. So can you explain the basic term or that algorithm I can say for writing for a research means a research proposal making and paper writing and its process in a brief term or brief ideology so that the students who just want to write the research paper or the proposal they can get some idea.
Okay. So there are two things. One is research proposal, which is for PhDs or paper writing, and grant writing. Like these are two different things. So when you're writing proposal or something, like if you're applying for PhD and you have to write a proposal, or generally if you're writing a research paper, you should know the problem statement. See what kind of problem you want to actually solve. And to reach that problem statement, or if you are applying to some professor, you have to see what kind of work he do, what kind of domain is his interest area. Or either you have to find your own interest area, what kind of domain you want to work on. And then you have to find a lot of papers. You have to read a lot of papers, research papers. And I think the the only expertise a PhD have over any other people is how to read a lot of research paper in very less time and to understand it. So I'll give an idea how to do it. In a research paper, you have abstract, you have introduction, and then you have methods and methodology, and then you have conclusion. So always understand the abstract, the introduction, and conclusions. Don't read the whole paper and try to understand the paper. And when you keep on reading around 10 papers in your domain, you understand what kind of previous research has been done, what is being done in this paper or in this review paper, and you can come to the gap, the research gap which is there. You will understand that what all has been done and what needs to be done, and what needs to be solved. In that gap, you have to write a paper that if you have a way to solve that, whenever you are writing a research proposal for some professor or for some PhD application, they don't see that you actually can come down to the problem statement. All they see is how much effort you have put it. Can you actually come through reading research papers and can you actually come down to some problem statement? It might not be your PhD problem statement. It might not become your PhD problem statement. But do you have that kind of eagerness and that kind of curiosity and that kind of neck to come down to that? And for that, you need to read a lot of papers. You have to understand the gaps, and then you have to start writing. When you're writing, it is always introduction where you write all the about the previous studies, what is done already in that domain, which is called literature survey. Then you have to tell how you want to solve the problem, and then you have to tell what kind of gaps would remain, and then you have to conclude. So that is how you actually write research proposal. And if you have to write a grant, for grant there is mostly there are applications which are floated, like international, national, where they need means there is a grant of say 50 lakh rupees or 1 crore rupees, and they give you whole performer. So suppose for entrepreneurs, if they are writing for grant, mostly these startups and entrepreneurs write for grant. So for that, for entrepreneurs, it's mostly you have to make them understand the problem. What is a problem in the society which you want to deal with? How you are going to solve that problem? Is there any previous methods by which the problem has been solved? And what novelty is there in your solution? How you are solving it better than the previous problem? Is it because of the cost? Is it because of being more environmentally friendly? Is it the only way to solve that problem? It has not been solved before. So you have to understand the novelty. When you tell the novelty, then you have to tell, when you have to establish the novelty, then you have to tell how you will solve it. Like how much money do you need? Where you plan to spend this money? So they have headers, like they know that you have to give to human resource just the 15%, for research maybe 10%, to buy equipments you have to give maybe 20%. So accordingly you have to budget it, then you have to conclude that what would be your work in coming 18 months or 2 years. You would have grants or proposals for some 2 years, 3 years. So you have to give whole timeline. How are you going to spend this money? Where would you reach in 18 months or 2 years? Would you make the prototype, or would you be able to reach the market? The whole that timeline you have to give. Then you
1
have to
year.
discuss.
I think so. If you are going for funding, or I can say the 1 year timeline they are asking for, and how they have to process. It's a target or
Huh,
good target.
but it changes for different grants. There is 18 months. They want 3 years. They might give you grant for just 1 year, and they want your 5 years idea, that where do you see yourself in 5 years. So sometimes you have to give a 5 year planning. You have to give all those planning where you're going to spend and where will you reach in 5 years, and then you have to give detail about how would you do it. That do you have
Yes.
a team? What kind of people you need? How will you get those people? So you have to give. You should be able in should be in the shoes of an entrepreneur. You should know that where would you reach in 5 years and how would you reach it. And that all you have to show. You have to write. You have to give in writing. That is what grant is.
So, ma'am, the last is just good means if you can give suggestions to the students, aspirants, and the students who just want to go for the research or entrepreneurship. So, any suggestions for them?
Yeah, for students, if you want to do research, it is very different from doing bachelor's or master's. Research is you are working on a problem which nobody knows how to solve. So you would have a lot of setbacks. You would pivot a path a lot. You would have a lot of argument, discussions with your guide. You might not like a lot of part, but you should be ready to face all those things. It is not just a coursework or something. You are reading something and you are given an exam. No, it would you would have some 6 months of work and it would be all wasted. It would be all data would results won't be there. You have to just throw it. You throw your 3 years of work. So all these things will keep on coming. So you should be ready for all those things. And then it is a very beautiful journey. If you are very curious, if you want to solve a problem, and if you come down to actually solving a problem, it is very worthwhile, very rewarding. So that is so just explore and be open to what will come. Don't be very limited in your vision or in your idea of what the things would be. You should be very open to whatever things come and how to pivot and how to change your ideas. And for entrepreneurship, yes, it is the same journey. I have just started, so uh, it is
In the
very
students who are
uncertain.
thinking, in students who are thinking
Who are
about,
thinking about entrepreneurship?
yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So even I have started entrepreneurship. So what I see the most is it is very uncertain. You don't know, you don't know where it would reach. So there is a lot of uncertainty. You should be ready for that. You should have a very good team. You should have a very good friends who put faith in you. You should have those kind of people. Then you get a lot of courage to do things because it is a very lonely journey. The entrepreneurship is very lonely. So for the other things, you should have a lot of other people for your support. Then you get a lot of courage to do things. And of course, plan. And in entrepreneurship, there is a lot of inward journey that why do you want to do it? So if you very much understand why, then the how comes. So entrepreneurship is not so much outward, it is a lot of inward journey. And if you solve that, you can come to understanding of outside also, how to work in a team, what kind of team you need, what kind of person you are, what kind of project you would like to work. So entrepreneurship is inward and outward uncertain journey where you need a lot of people to support you. To have your family, have your friends, have your co-founders, have your team, be supportive. Make that kind of people up. Bring that kind of people up.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for these kind of words in which you have explained about your research journey, your social workings life, and all. We also means tell about your research areas and also the suggestions for the every students and the entrepreneur. Means you are the perfect role model, I can say, for the women in engineering team. And also, if you just want to ask something, if you just want to know about ma'am's work, or if you just want to talk to ma'am, we are providing a LinkedIn, if it is comfortable with you, ma'am. If I can
Yes,
provide your
yes,
LinkedIn
Ganesh.
in our description box, We will provide ma'am's LinkedIn profile in a description and just want to revolutionize the education industry with this thing. So thank you so much and thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.